Hi everyone, welcome back to the show with Xander. This is episode number 143, and today I want to share something that happened in Portugal. This is probably one of the last episodes regarding our experience when we travel to Europe. And this experience really put things into perspective for all of us and how dependent we are on electricity and connectivity. I really hope that you enjoy this episode. Thank you, everybody who has listened last year and who is connecting with me again in 2026. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, share with family and friends. Here we go. If you remember from an earlier episode last year where I had an incident that affected my credit card, well, on the following day and this story, which is actually history, I decided to stay home in the morning because I was waiting for a package from UPS. My credit card was blocked and I was expecting a new emergency card from Germany that was supposed to arrive before 2 p.m. I saw the UPS van pass by a couple of times. That moment when you see the delivery driver pass your place, but hey, they never stopped. Well, that was happening. Then suddenly, just before the 12 o'clock, we lost power. And by we, I meant the whole Portugal and many other countries around. And that's when things got interesting. Shortly after the exodus began, people started flooding out of the CBD. I had never seen anything like it. The streets were packed with people walking, and the buses, they were absolutely crammed. There was barely any space left for people to get on or to get off. Then around 2 p.m., we lost telecommunication signals. No reception whatsoever. Mobile phones became basically useless. No calls, no text, no data, no internet browsing. Nothing. And this situation continued until around 9 p.m. that evening. So this is what a real blackout is. It was extremely difficult because we had no power, which meant we couldn't cook. Everything there was electric. Many cars over there are electric too, so they were affected as well. And because the telecommunication towers don't have backup power, or if they had run out, but never really worked, we never really noticed that. Once the electricity went out, all the mobile phone signals were and went down too. We were completely incommunicado. And the worst part, we had no idea how long this would last. Was it going to be just a few hours until the next day? Usually, these kind of outages get fixed within a day or so, but we just didn't know. Thankfully, by the end of the day, still with a bit of sunlight, we decided to go out and take a small walk around the neighborhood. And that's when we saw some lights coming back on. We realized the power was going to be restored. And sure enough, after 9 p.m., everything came back online. The internet returned and things started working again. It was definitely chaotic. People were stuck at work with long lines waiting to get on the buses, trying to get home. The traffic was terrible. Many businesses had closed. Supermarkets, stores, shops, restaurants. It was really hard to find anything open, and the few places that remained open had long lines of people buying supplies. Of course, the bread was completely gone and there were only a few fruits left. If you couldn't cook because you had an electric stove like we had at the time was going to be really hard to manage. People were buying battery powered radios because that was the only way to listen to the news and find out what was happening. So perhaps a battery radio is a good idea to have with you as an emergency backup in the likely event that a blackout ever happens wherever you go in the world. And as I mentioned earlier, this didn't just happen in Portugal. It started in Spain, then moved to France, and apparently affected Germany and maybe some other countries as well. The cause at the time was still unknown, and I haven't checked anything else. Obviously, we won't really know 100%. At the beginning, authorities said it wasn't definitely a cyber attack. They were calling it some kind of environmental phenomenon, something in the atmosphere, or whatever it was. It affected millions of people across the European Union. It really makes you think about how fragile our infrastructure can be and how much we rely on electricity and connectivity for literally everything in our daily life. Anyway, that was one of my Mondays in 2025 in Portugal. I'm sure that all of you knew about it. And if you didn't, well, here it was. And here it is, me telling you this story that made it to history and through history. Hopefully, yours was a bit less eventful, wherever you were that day and wherever you are right now. So, thanks for listening to episode 143 of The Show with Xander. Until next time, take care. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show with Xander. This was another episode of our experience in Portugal. I hope that you like it and that it brought you some insight. Perhaps you learned something. Remember to follow me. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen or watch this podcast. Remember to share with friends and family members, anybody and everybody. Thank you for listening, and I hope to keep building and producing these episodes in 2026. My name is Xander. Until next time, ciao.